Yes, thanks very much indeed, Nick. Well, we've seen our colleague Alex Lely sit and suffer in this commentary box watching the Netherlands bow out. Now we've got Ted Lerner, originally from the United States, watching his boys go up against Spain, and it's a match that Van Boening and Woodward here on the left will be favoured to win, but it's far from a walkover, Ted. Spain very capable on their day, but they'll need to be better than we saw in round one.
Are you suggesting that I'm not objective?
You just
I'm a journalist.
Yeah, I know.
I was taught. That was the first thing we were taught, Nick. You know about that, right? Objectivity.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you think? Who do you think was making all that noise out of that England-Scotland game? That was me.
Oh. I thought that was all that liquid everybody was consuming.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Anyway, here we go. Important to win the lag, as we've seen the way this table is breaking. And it's the Americans that will get that race to 7.
But to your point, Nick, Spain, great side. David Al-Kaidi has been one of the top players in Europe for well over a decade. Been on the Mosconi Cup. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, his partner. That's David there. Skylar Woodward to break. Ruiz, great young player. Both of them are playing great pool over the last few months. Of course, David Al-Kaidi won the World Pool Masters. Along the way to winning the Masters, Nick, he did take down Shane Van Boening.
So a chance for some revenge for the veteran American then, and Woodward has certainly got off to a nice break, getting the wing ball, getting the 1 ball, the 2 balls sitting invitingly, and the Americans in business early here. Good combination of experience and youth here with Van Boening, clearly the experienced senior partner. Nice little nod there to this young man here, Skylar Woodward, who is quiet, humble, grateful to be here, enjoying the opportunities that Pool is giving him to travel the world. You just get the sense from his demeanor, just chatting to him the other day, Ted, that Skylar Woodward's got a big future in this business.
Certainly, if he sticks to the side of this man right here, Shane Van Boening, what a talent. He will do well. And you know, it was Shane who made the suggestion to Matchroom, our promoter, that he wants Skylar Woodward by his side here at the World Cup of Pool, and that's how that came about. So you already know they are very comfortable playing this format.
Very nicely delivered green 6 there, getting Van Boening position on the 7. Van Boening's had a busy week. He was involved in the press conference to officially launch the Mosconi Cup in this arena yesterday. Yeah, just about got away with that one. And being a proud American, he in particular will want to do something about America's terrible recent record in that competition. Europe virtually owning it, but they're up and running early here against Spain, who did nothing other than lose the lag. They've seen enough. Al-Kaidi and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, they've seen enough over the last couple of days to know there's no point getting steamed up about the situation. Their time will come. When it comes, they've got to be ready.
Thought it was interesting that Shane Van Boening was calling Johan Reiching Mr. Johan. Mr.
That's only because he can't pronounce his surname. You do know that.
He can pronounce it. He lost enough times to Johan. He knows. But I think that bodes well for Team USA. Some people say, oh, Shane, maybe he's not a team player. Maybe he just needs a certain kind of coach
Rack 2, USA
to get him in that team groove. The team psychology.
This has been the popular side of the table. The wing ball has dropped. Where's the 1 going to end up? Is it going to be obscured, or has it stuck its nose out? That orange 5 looks like it might be being a nuisance. We'll get a proper look at the angle here, but if Woodward can see it, he'll fancy it. I'm not sure that he can, Ted.
I think they can.
Just enough of it. That overhead angle can be deceptive. You need to be right down the barrel of the cue to see it, and that would have given us the look that Woodward had. There was a fine little, just a tickle into that top pocket there available.
So I fancy Shane to make this one. Long pot on the 2. And then it's off to the races. He's a big proponent of winner
Extension
breaks
call.
format, Shane. He's a guy who likes to put racks together. Like a 3-pack, a 4-pack, a 6-pack. That's Shane's style. He likes to get on that roll. And he's very hard to stop. Look at that.
Oh, we made that look easy. Well, he leaves Woodward with that delicate little 3.
And I'll have to leave another long one for the 4-ball. Across the other side of the table.
Oh, I was just about to say, put that one down and this rack will be in the bag. And
That's a big miss.
it really is. Oh, a real kick in the teeth there for Shane Van Boening. He knows it. And Spain will have just sat and waited, knowing that the chance would come. And here it is.
Well, that's a big miss because that was a very makeable 4-ball. Shane knows he should have had that. And in this race to 7, you can't really afford mistakes like that. Yeah, you're going to have mistakes, but not like, you don't want them like that.
This might be my imagination, Ted, but it does seem, particularly in this second round, the team that limits the mistakes wins the match.
Well, it's just a race to 7. Look at Germany earlier in the day. Just 3 errors, and they got blown out.
Whitewash, wasn't it?
Yep, 7-0.
Blanked.
And that's because China had no errors. They played perfect pool. So I mean, USA had started out well. They'd gotten out of the gates. The horses were running down the track, and that missed 4-ball. Keep that in mind.
Now, Spain had a couple of miscues in their first round match against Romania. Al-Qaedi in particular with a couple, but Sanchez Ruiz also involved. And we said when they survived that hill battle with the Romanians that they will be better for the experience going into it, but one miss has effectively cost 1 rack. It's not automatic, but it's one that you really would expect Shane Van Boening to make, and he would expect it as well. What, 19 times out of 20?
Oh yeah, no
More?
99 out of 100 for Shane. And it's not like he had to do anything funny there to get position on the 5. So a glaring error, and he's still thinking about it. Just have to wait for your opportunity now. They should be up 2-0. Let's see if Spain can capitalize.
Well, let's
Rack 3.
see how
Spain
they
to
break.
1-1.
Sanchez Ruiz. A busy, slightly boisterous crowd in the house enjoying this. We got a ball down. Pool players like having an audience to work with, but also it's not so good if you've got people moving in your sight line. That can be a distraction and a problem. Wing ball goes, and then the cue ball got that big kick that took it to the top of the table.
Well, not sure what he's going to do with the 1, but he's got the 2 ball along the rail.
Set the
So
clock, please. Lads, got to be quiet, right? We're not
And
shot.
it doesn't go
Yeah.
to any pocket unless there is a combination.
While you were just explaining the lay of the table there, Nigel Rees, the referee, just had to let's calm the one section of the crowd down a little bit.
And that is the
Oh,
best thing
oh.
he could have done. Beautiful safety there. So again, even if that one gets open after these safety exchanges that are coming up,
Extension
there's
call.
still work to do on that 2-ball.
Oh, did he hit the 9 first? He did.
Wow.
Well,
He went for that, and
Start the clock, please.
it was so thin, he actually hit the 9-ball first.
grazed it.
Very dangerous taking on that shot.
Back-to-back ball in hands of shots from Shane Van Boening. We saw a similar shot earlier in the day.
Extension call.
Well, again, the key here is what to do with that 2-ball. You see it right by the side pocket. Doesn't go in the side. Tries to nudge it out.
Nudge it out, yeah. Did he get enough of it? Interesting possibilities here for Al-Qaedi.
Bit difficult, would you say?
Just a little.
I don't think he's going for it, though. Yeah, he's just going to play safe.
He should be okay with that. He's managed to nudge it up to the rail. That's a degree of difficulty in terms of making the shot here for Skylar Woodward, the Kentucky native. And he's made it. Does he get the bonus of position as well? Just nudging that 3 a little bit closer to the pocket.
That'll work. Cue ball's going to run. Orange 5 along the rail.
With a bit of angle to play with as well.
He's a good shooter, Skylar.
A good positional play again from the Americans.
One thing about Skylar Woodward is he's not in awe of these bright lights and television cameras. He looks loose.
That's what I said when I first saw him, Ted. I thought for a young man, his temperament is really sound.
It's also the way he played in the Mosconi Cup. Now back to some good potting for Team USA.
And even though they've made a couple of mistakes, the Americans have got their noses in front here in this race to 7. This last round 2 match, they are in front 2-1. Well, we've had a tremendous day, day 4. And it really is boiling up to a climax here. 2-1, USA leading Spain. Couple of mistakes from Team USA, but it hasn't hurt them too badly. They take a 2-1 lead in the early going of this last match of the day. Earlier wins for Chinese Taipei, China and Austria, the big guns, the 1, 2, 3 all going through. Holland, the number 6 seed, dumped out. Scotland, the number 7 seed, dumped out. Will the number 5 seed follow them out of the door? Or will the Americans dispatch Spain to book the last quarter-final place? That's what we're about to find out. 2-1, the Americans leading. Breaking well. This table is certainly providing plenty of breaks now for these teams. The wing ball going down with some consistency. The one ball very often joining it. There goes the wing ball. Now the one didn't go down on that occasion. It's got a beautiful stop on the cue ball, and I think that's going to just roll out of the way. That's 7 enough for the one shot.
That worked out very well. They like that when the action players play for that, to have the one ball come down to the table, and they hope that they can park that cue ball somewhere in that middle zone, and this is the result. That's what they want.
That's a long one. I got a long 2 down the road. Now getting position here is going to be the key element to this shot. And that's what they were talking about earlier before they even took that one shot.
Extension called.
This is the issue here.
Chalk up and juice it back.
Well, this rack is not coming easy for the Americans, is it? A couple of long balls down, but now another.
He's going
challenge.
for this.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to give the table up, does he?
Well, cue ball's going to run, and that's what it needs to do to get back down. The 4 is at the bottom of the table. No.
He's not managed it, but look, he's played a two-way shot there. As you say, got position on the 4, which also then took the ball away from danger effectively. Got away with one there. But it's the Spaniards back up at the table now. What can they do? Quick glance at the clock just to see where we are. They've got an extension available should they wish to take it. I think they will.
Extension called.
There it is. So both extensions in this rack have gone.
Not many places to hide.
As he found a hidey hole, and I think that might have just stuck its nose out, you know.
Well, that was always going to be tough because there just wasn't many hiding spaces. So a long shot on the 3. And again, he's got to bring it back out for the 4. So still work to do for Team USA.
Yeah, this rack is not coming easy, is it? They've already deposited 2 long shots. There's another one. How much work is that cue ball going to do? It's not going to get jammed up behind there, is it? No, he's got away from there, but does he have a shot? I think he does. We'd have to get another angle on that. There's that 9 blocking the path of the cue ball into the pink.
Oh, that goes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
He got very lucky on that because that cue ball ran into the 8.
Yep, there we go. Now, finally, it looks like they've got this table under control. Full stretch here for Woodward, who's not the tallest player you'll meet.
Skyler trying to tell Shane where he wants the ball, but I don't even think Shane was even paying attention to him. Must be hard to give instructions to a Shane Van Boening.
Yeah, really.
Mostly in Scotch doubles pool, it's probably best just to limit the discussion unless there's a real tricky situation. Just have to get on with it.
Steady as she goes for Team USA. Oh, they really had to work at that. But the key was, even when they weren't putting balls down, they were maintaining control of the table. Spain just had no chance of grabbing the initiative in that rack. It's a very intelligent, mature bit of 9-ball there from the Americans. And as we've seen time and again, you start opening up a gap, it's very tough, especially in a race to 7, for the chasing team to get back. Now, that'll change when we get to the quarterfinals. Goes up to a race to 9. Very relaxed there, the Americans.
This is what Shane likes. You win a rack, you get back up, and you keep playing. This is his groove. He actually, except for the World 9-ball
Rack
championship,
5, USA to break.
he tends to
leading
avoid
3 racks to 1.
events that have alternate break format.
Wing ball goes, 1 ball goes. Now, where does everything else go? Where's that black going? Let's put the brakes on. That's nice. And a 6-ball hanging over one of the top pockets as well. Here goes the 6, kicked up there by the 2.
They can get this, and the angle is such there should be position on the 2 after pocketing the.
Oh,
no.
my goodness me. Oh.
Well, as you can see, there would have been position there. But you have to hit the ball first. Hit the ball in the pocket. Nothing down.
That is a 3rd mistake for the Americans, who somehow are well ahead in this match. Skyler Woodward, his first. Van Boning's already had a couple, so he can't dog on his partner too much here. But limit the mistakes. Now the Spaniards are back on the table, ball in hand. Ready to make their move.
It was a power shot, all designed to get position on that pink 4. Chooses to go for the pot. It's a very thin cut. Oh, well played. Look at that, nudged out the 7-ball in perfect position for the orange 5. Well done from Ruiz.
We had a conversation between the 2 of them between shots, just making sure they're both on the same page with position. Now they can get rid of that 6, the one that Skyler Woodward should have put away, didn't. And that's going to get Spain right back into this match. They really haven't had much of a chance to get anything going at all, the Spaniards, up until this point.
Well, when your opponent makes mistakes at these short races, you absolutely must convert. And previously, Nick, when it was rack number 3, Shane fouled on the 9-ball. He touched the 9-ball going for the 1, and the USA gave up ball in hand, but they still won the rack. And see, that's what you can't do.
Yeah, there have been a couple of those that they got away with, but they didn't get away with the Woodward miss.
So this was a 2 into the 6 and never even got close. You can see the disappointment of Skylar Woodward. So how much will it cost them? We've seen this happen where one mistake and you can park your opponent in the chair.
Yeah, it is so much easier than it was on day 1 to just go on a tear up on this table.
Thank you, rack 6. Spain
3
to
or
break,
4 racks
chain,
here
2
for
racks
Spain.
to 3.
They'll be close to the finish line. That's what's going to be bothering the Americans at the moment, and nothing they can do about it. There goes the wing ball. The 1 rattled around the jaws. The 9 almost decided to have some fun there into that side pocket. Yeah, what happened to the 9? The 9 got a couple of nudges. Look at that.
So the 2 ball is the ball in question here. Does it go up to the corner pocket? That's tight. Position's there to get on it. Or it goes, oh, he's going to try to bring it up. Not there. It might go in the bottom. It goes in the bottom right corner. Al-Kaidi pointed to the bottom right corner. Unless they try to break it up.
Extension called.
There it is, but that requires some precision cueing.
Yeah, that's got to drop onto a dime, isn't it? Oh, it didn't need that. Contact on the 8. Al-Kaidi heads for the hills.
Beautiful safety there. Gluing that cue ball to the red 3.
Well, he's jammed up here, isn't he, Van Boning? No. Not much wiggle room at all.
Extension called.
Inevitably calling the extension there. Just
Yeah,
working
measuring
out his
the
angles.
angles, yeah.
Yep. Come off the long rail here. And he wants to get safe, and that's not going to do it.
Well, that's why you play a safety like that, because it's sort of hit and pray, hoping for a good outcome. Sometimes we say the best offense is a good defense. That's what safety play is all about.
Now he's parked that on the rail, Al-Kaidi. Going to have to then adjust his cueing action a little bit. And that has caused this minor irritant on the pink. Well, it's another rack that's being dragged out of this table. Sometimes you see the teams just get on, put a ball down and run the table, but
Oh, that's
this one,
great shot.
hard work, but they're making some really good shots digging in here, the Spaniards, just like the Americans have done a couple of racks. That took some delivering.
You know, this rack for Spain is going to be a big confidence booster. You can tell how focused they are right now.
Al-Kaidi just pointing to the spot there. Put it there. Well, those American mistakes are now starting to come back to bite them. The Spaniards, who were trailing by a couple of racks, have managed to drag themselves level and make this last match of round 2 a race to 4. It's anyone's game. Coverage continues in just a couple of moments. The World Cup of Pool being staged this year in London, where nighttime is falling in this bustling, vibrant capital city. So much going on. But right now, here in the heart of London's East End, the famous old York Hall, this boxing cathedral. It's Spain and the United States slugging it out blow for blow. Here comes Sanchez Ruiz, nailing the wing ball. The one rattled around, didn't drop, but they'll take that. Thank you very much.
So the question is, does the 1 ball, does it pass the 2? There, it looks like it does. No.
From there, it looks like it doesn't.
Nope.
So David Al-Kaidi says, you know what? There's a lot of hidey holes on this table. Let's go find one. And he's put the 1 ball in the middle of that triangle, that 6-4-8 triangle.
Well, we are tied, but I sense that Spain has the momentum. They were
Yeah.
down 3-1, and they were very focused, very much in the zone in that last rack. And some issues with the Americans, some mistakes, not the best potting so far.
Well, even when they were 3-1 up, they were leading the error count, weren't they, as well, which was the surprise. It hadn't hurt them, but as you say, they hadn't found their groove at all in this match. Right now, I think Shane Van Boening, who's been around long enough and seen everything this game has got to offer, he'll be relieved that his side's at 3-all. Well, that was he's got a ball. He's got a ball. Well, that's the good news.
That's luck.
Yeah, but then again, he hit that cue ball so hard, he was always going to get some action on the table. So you could argue he's made his own luck. Now, what can they do with that good fortune? Yeah, now they've got to play it safe because he couldn't stick around for the 2, and there was a lovely little trap set down there, which Al-Kaidi is going to have to try and spring now. The natural 7-9 barrier. All you have to do is park up that cue ball behind that, get some distance from the 1 ball, and that's exactly what he's done.
Extension called.
Now they'll have to kick at this. No gap there. Let's bring it down and knock that 1 back up table.
And make sure the cue ball stays up the top end, so they'll get distance. There's the kick, but where's the cue ball going? Oh, where's the 1 going? Oh, come on!
Some more luck. They keep shooting.
Well, that is 2 bits of good fortune in this rack. The first one to the Americans, and Al-Kaidi immediately put his hand up to that, just say, yeah, I know. I didn't mean that. Sorry, guys.
Oh, great shot.
You take what the table gives you.
Perfect. Boy, ever since the Whirlpool Masters, the biggest win of David Al-Kaidi's career, he has just got the confidence down.
I mean, that's a tricky little cut to execute. Ooh, wasn't the best from Sanchez Ruiz, but it's dropped. But that previous shot from Al-Kaidi was the shot of a man who really has rediscovered his form after that rather shaky first round. He's on his game tonight, Al-Kaidi.
Well, I've never seen a team play perfect throughout, or a player play perfect throughout an event. Oftentimes the winners of big events go through a big time scare in which they're moments away from elimination and then finally pull through the match, and next thing you know, they steamroll all the way to the finish line and enter the winner's circle as a world champion.
Right, now the interesting thing with this shot, of course, is there's going to be a lot of movement with these balls. How much of this are they going to be able to control? He's got to make the shot, and then the 9. Yeah, that's the control. I mean, that was beautifully executed. Well, they both had a big slice of luck in this rack. And it's Spain that come out on the right end of it, and 3-1 to the USA has become 4-3 Spain. And I think you said it earlier, Ted, even at 3-all, you've just had the feeling that the Americans have been fighting this table, and momentum is now clearly with the Spaniards.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it, fighting the table, whereas the Spaniards are taking it to the table, taking the initiative, aggressive, focused, in the zone.
Their body language has been a bit subpar, just subdued. They haven't looked quite right. I mean, look at Van Boening there. You know, he's had a couple of errors. Woodward on the right, well, he dropped one clanger. But it's still a 4-3 match here. Their time will come, but I don't know, it's just an interesting body language. You know these guys better than I do, Ted, but they don't seem to be as fired up as you would have expected for a second round match in the World Cup at pool.
Yeah, certainly. Look at the body language of
Rack 8,
the
Spain to break,
Spaniards.
leading 4 racks to 3.
Exactly, there's energy. I tell you, all these teams today seem to have had that wing ball on a piece of string.
This should work out okay.
And he's got a bonus ball. This 6 just languidly dropped into that side pocket there.
Tough cut shot here, though.
Oh,
I bet he wished that he could hit that harder. Seemed to be that soft stroke made him uncomfortable, and the reason he had to hit it soft was to stay on position for the 2. Players like to let that arm out. It's not always easy to dial it down.
Extension call.
so he gets the Americans and Shane Van Boening back up to the table. Well, what a situation they find themselves in here, the Americans, at the table, just 1 rack down, having not really got out of second gear. Now that's a bit more like it. That might just get things going. That is not going to go all the way in, but it is going to hang over the pocket.
Good safety opportunity here. Oh, he goes for it. Nice.
I
Wow.
tell you, that was with the clock ticking
Aggressive.
and no extension available. I mean, that really was a
Aggressive.
ice in his veins shot. That was.
That is hard.
Wow.
You know, I guess that's what you got to do to make something happen, because they were in a bit of a funk. They, like you say, you know, they were, you know, obviously the match is still close, but got to make something happen, a spark.
That's exactly the word, isn't it? Got to find a spark from somewhere. Well, that was a really special shot there from Woodward. And the body language from the Americans much more positive now. 3 balls away from leveling this one.
It can certainly happen. Just one shot is all it takes.
That was beautifully played. Real authority with his cue there from Skyler Woodward and Van Boening. And finished the job. Well, they're back in business. 4-4. And a lot more, the word I think you used there, Ted, positive. A lot more positivity all round about the Americans in that rack.
Yeah, there you go. See
Now
the
then.
smiles.
Who are these guys? They've replaced those other guys.
This kind of shot will do it. That's as hard as it gets. And it came with position on the 4.
Oh, it was only 5 minutes ago these two were sitting in their chairs like a couple of guys waiting for a train and just been told it had been cancelled. Now, a bit more bounce about them. 4-4 as well. It's a sprint to the line now. Race to 3. And as poorly overall as the Americans have been, it's not even poor, it's just been flat. To be 4-4, you've got to feel good about it, because you can play so much better if you're Shane Van Boening and Skyler Woodward, who is now going to come up and break, and he's breaking well.
Thank you, rack 9.
They need a break and run here.
USA to break, 4-4.
They'll have a real pep in the step.
Al-Khadi is just glancing at this, sat in his chair. What's Woodward going to get? He inevitably gets the wing ball. The one might be hidden, and is. This is push-out territory. Or will he decide just to kick at it? No, I don't know. It's going to be a tough call, this. Or hang on, can he get an angle off that long rail there? That's what Van Boening's taking a look at here. Surely not. Maybe. Well, this is where making the right shot selection is so important, as he's got a lot of different ways to attack this ball or play it safe, whatever he chooses to do. It looks like he's going to just try and run that in off the rail. Or is that a two-way shot? If it is a two-way shot, it's a two-way shot that's gone spectacularly wrong.
He's not happy with it.
No.
He tried to make that. There's the position on the 2. This is very makeable right here from Ruiz. And Spain grabs the initiative again.
Let's go back to that miss there from Van Boening. He measured that up pretty early. So he was obviously confident that he could make it, but yeah, it was not close. He's just not been at the show tonight, Shane, has he? I mean, if you want to be critical, you can say that is his 3rd mistake of the match. Throw in the miss from Woodward as well. That's 4. They'll do well to survive 4 errors.
That's correct, because race to 7, winner breaks. This is a quality side from Spain. You may know David Al-Khadi, but Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, great young player.
from Murcia. Nice young man known as El Ferrari.
So we have
He's-
El Ferrari and we have El Matador.
Extension called.
He may be a Ferrari, but he's no Tony Drago, let's be honest. Tough to catch the tornado when he's in full flow, but that's a lovely shot once again.
Great shot making from the Spaniards.
And Al-Qaedi can restore Spanish superiority in this one. They are 2 racks away from claiming that final quarterfinal spot. Been tough sledding in this one. Can they get it finished? The Americans keep giving them chances, and the Spaniards won't need too many more. 5-4 they lead in this race to 7. Day 4 in the World Cup of Pool drawing to its conclusion. Tomorrow it's quarterfinals day. On Sunday, semi-finals in the afternoon, then the final in the evening. 1 quarter-final berth still available. Who will claim it? Will it be Spain, who have a 5-4 lead in this race to 7 and are breaking? Or will it be the out-of-sorts USA? They need another opportunity at the table. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz stunning that cue ball off the break.
Great break. Shot on the 2.
Look at what he did with that cue ball, Ted. I mean, that was like a,
Ideal.
yeah, just slammed the handbrake on.
Spain looking like the better side here.
Yeah, Al-Qaedi already deep in conversation, not about this 3, but about position on the 4 ball, which does clearly pass the 9 if Sanchez Ruiz is able to give him position.
Extension called.
Overall, their performance has been better today than it was against Romania in the first round, the Spaniards. And yet it's turned into a similar sort of match. Oh, that's a mess.
Oh, no.
That's a mess. That was drifting away from the moment it left the queue, and a big mistake this time from Spain gets the Americans back in.
Well, just when you think Spain motoring towards the conclusion, the finish line, a lifeline for Team USA. Now, they can't afford to flub their lines here. Too many errors from the Americans so far.
I can't work this match out. It's like neither of them believe that they can do it.
Extension called.
It's a strange one.
Well, Spain has had the belief that that's the bad error, wrong timing there. Can the Americans get out and seize the momentum?
Oh, that thought long and hard before it dropped as well.
What has he left his partner?
Yeah, well, he's not quite on the rail, so that's something. But what can young Skylar Woodward see of this? Look at this. That's thinking a long time, and then before saying, yeah, all right, you can have me. But has he given him anything? We're about to find out.
He's getting down like he can pot it in the
Yes.
side. No.
No, he can't. He's gone for safety instead.
Okay.
Ramping it up a little bit higher. And that five ball up the top makes things just a little bit more complicated as well for the Spaniards. So he's got the pink ball jammed up with the 8, the cue ball tucked in behind the 9. There's the orange 5 not helping where that's positioned as well. This is tough going here for David Al-Qaedi. No extension available either. Yeah, that was always going to be hard. Ball in hand, USA. What a really good snooker that was from Skylar Woodward. The more you looked at that table, the more you realized how big a hole David Al-Qaedi was in there.
So this is a big rack for Team USA. They hadn't been playing that well. They were close the whole time. But you had the feeling that Spain was about to pull away. But 2 mistakes in this rack, and this is about to be even. And the USA will be breaking for the lead. Sometimes you just have to hang around and wait for your time.
Great credit, incidentally, has to go to young Skylar Woodward for the quality of that safety shot. It had Al-Kaidi absolutely jammed up with nowhere to go. You know, we talk about that miss he had when he tried to nudge in the 6, Woodward. That's pretty much the only real error that he's contributed to the match. He's been the steady one of the 2. And he certainly came up with the shot they needed at a time they really needed it. If that rack had slipped away from them, there may have been no coming back. At 5-all and breaking, that's a very different story. And these 2 now, the Spaniards, it slipped away from them.
Yes, they had the match. They had it all there. And a miss from Ruiz. They gave it up in that rack. It's just a race to 2. Yep. That's the ball in hand from Al-Kaidi.
I mean, even if he'd made contact, there's absolutely no telling where those balls would have ended up. There was no good ending to that shot for David Al-Kaidi. There's just no telling what would have happened, but he'll be very disappointed that he gave ball in hand.
Thank you, rack 11. USA to break, 5-5.
Well, really,
So,
nobody breaks better than Shane Van Boening in pool. Just a guy you want up here.
Now the cue ball went north, a couple of balls down. It's also taken a nudge off that 5, and just look at that little cluster that's formed to the right as we're looking. There's the 1, the 3. Is that the 8 ball? I think that's joined the party as well. Yeah, look at that. There's one word for that: mess.
Have to get a close-up of that to see that 3 ball. That's along the rail. It's touching a rail. They're not going to be able to just roll up.
No.
Roll up the ball.
I'll tell you what that spells. That's Sanchez Ruiz and Al-Kaidi will be back at the table in this rack.
That does appear to be touching.
Extension called.
Remember, after contact, you must hit a rail, but if that 3 is already touching the rail, something else will have to hit the rail.
Push.
Yeah, I thought they might have a think about the push out, but isn't that just delaying the inevitable?
Push out
I
call.
mean, at some point they're going to have to deal with this. And I suspect the Spaniards will take a look at that and go, what are we going to do with that? Al-Kaidi looking at it and shrugging and saying, well, I don't want it. Now Ruiz is coming around to have a look as well. And at this stage in the match, it's again decision making. You've got to get this right. Where's the benefit for Spain taking this on? And they indeed have decided exactly the same. Don't want it.
Very difficult to get safe here.
What was in the mind of the Americans when they played that push out? That is usually what you have with the push out. You've got a plan that you hope the other guys don't see. Well, Woodward is about to tell us what that plan was. He certainly smashed that cluster to ribbons. Oh, he's got a lovely little nudge.
He'll like that.
Yeah. Boy, the way that 8
Jump
ball
cue.
just got nudged in there.
Oh, comes the short stick.
Yeah, well, Al-Kaidi is good with that short stick, but just watch. Now this black just gets that little nudge
Extension call.
straight into the path of the 1 ball. Boy, this is a high pressure rack. 5-5. High stakes shot this. He needs height as well. Jacking up with that jump cue. Oh, and fouled. Fouled.
Ball in hand.
Ball in hand as
not
well.
good at all.
No, that's disastrous. That's absolute
Stop.
calamity.
The opportunities don't get much better than this for
Well.
USA. Ball in hand at 5-5 in a race to 7. Did not hit that good at all.
Easy to be wise after the event, but that needed such a big jump. It was really asking a lot.
So Spain was looking sharp. They had the momentum. They were at the table, but they messed it up. It started in rack 10.
This is the match, isn't it? There is going to be one critical mistake that decides it. Have we just seen it?
Well, it started in the previous rack with 2 errors from Spain, and then the foul off the jump from David Al-Kaidi. So now this will put Team USA on the hill. 1 away from a spot in the quarterfinals. They'd have to feel pretty good. Wouldn't say it's been their best match so far, you know, that they could have played. But a win would be a win.
Exactly. They're surviving their mistakes.
But you know what, Nick? It's not over.
It's not. It's not. Not the way this match has gone. But they are on the hill, USA, somehow. And you talked about Van Boning and his ability to break. Well, he hasn't exactly been let down by his partner. Now, those wing balls, correct me if I'm wrong, but those wing balls have gone down every single rack in this match. Skylar Woodward will be hoping that that streak continues here. Nigel Rees racking them up. He's happy. So
Thank you, rack 12. USA
This
to break,
is
leading 6 racks to 5.
Team USA breaking for a place in the quarterfinals of the World Cup of Pool. Watch for that pink wing ball. If that disappears, they're in business, and it goes. He's done a lovely
They
job
will
with that.
have a shot.
He's done such a good job with that cue ball off the break as well.
But does the 2 pass the 8? It does not appear that it does. I don't know. Shane Van Boning, no. So it appears that perhaps Spain will get a shot at the table.
Unless he can create some mayhem here, which he hasn't even attempted. Well, we know he's a strong safety player as well, Woodward. Well, that was a long conversation there. Just making sure they're both on the same page. Let's find out if he fancies this off the rail, in off the rail, or if he's just
Could
going
be
to
a
play
carom.
it safe. Yes.
Karam, nicely done.
Oh, well spotted, Ted.
How about this shot? Well, leave it to the man. The 5-time US Open champion.
All that's missing now is the drum roll, because this
Attention call.
is effectively for the match. If this goes and they get position, there won't be anything to stop them. Big shot this.
He got it. Fantastic.
Francisco, David, pack your bags. You're going back to Spain. Yeah. Delicately played shot there. Well, somehow the Americans have overcome, what was it, 4 big mistakes in this match?
And they turned it on just at the right time.
Well, that's the mark of a good team in any sport, when you win and you haven't played very well. I mean, that's the mark of a champion.
They played well here at the end.
Well, the Spanish will probably still be asking themselves, how do we let this one slip away?
I think the Americans will feel pretty good about taking this. As you say, Nick, they didn't play their absolute best, but they did what they needed to do at the right time, which is at the end of the match. There
Exactly.
it is.
The win is the win, and that is all that matters. Skylar Woodward, a big star today. Shane Van Boening has overcome 1 or 2 little problems he had earlier on. You can see what it meant to him as well. Into the final 8, the quarterfinals. USA, Spain, a dark horse for this championship. A team in some form as well. They're going home. Well, it was a tough go. Not easy at all, that, for the Americans. But they stuck around, and yeah, that's what it means to Shane Van Boening. Skylar Woodward, less demonstrative, but it means a lot to him as well. There's confirmation. No dry breaks at all. That wing ball going in time after time after time. Look at the misses that the Americans had. 4-1 they lost that battle, a couple of fouls apiece. Now that usually is a recipe for disaster. Wouldn't be at all a surprise to see that have gone the other way, but the Americans survived those misses. They win this one 7-5.